Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's Josh here coming at you with some Yugi news. And today, they actually hit us early this morning with vampire cards, the new ones that are going to be in that Dark Savior set, I think it's called. And I wanted to go over their effects and what they do and talk about them for a little bit. For those of you that don't know, there's this new set coming out into Japan and then eventually into the TCG, and it has a bunch of new vampire cards and like a pirate archetype and really cool, interesting stuff. Lots of new cards, and these vampires seem really cool. They don't seem tier 1, but it'll be interesting to see what this deck does and how it works and everything. With some of the cards that they released here, it gives you a good idea of what they're all about. Here they are. There's 8 of them, 10 of them, 10 of them it looks like. So anyways, I just wanted to go over each one. Now they are listed in the order that you see here. So yeah, the first one, which is this bat looking one, it's Vampire Familiar. It's got a interesting effect. It's a level 1, so nothing like too crazy, anything like that, but it has 2 effects, and it's once per turn. If this card is special summoned, you can pay 500 life points, add a vampire monster from your deck to your hand. The second effect is if this card is in your GY, you can send 1 vampire card from your hand or from your field to the graveyard. Special summon this card from your graveyard, but then banish it. So nothing too crazy there. Its first effect, I mean, at least it lets you search something out at a cost though of 500. But basically how it works is like, with this deck you pay and gain life points, and that's kind of like the vampires, I guess, like sucking your blood or whatever, like when you pay life points and then gaining life points by, like, you know, sucking the blood of others. So it's an interesting, cool concept here. The other one is Vampire Brood. That's up here. That's the beast looking thing. By the way, they are all zombies, so keep that in mind. But Vampire Brood, again, 2 effects. One you can do once, each one once per turn. If this card excuse me, is special summoned, you can pay 500 life points, add a vampire spell or trap card from your deck to your hand. So it's kind of like Familiar, except with their spells and traps, which when we get to their spells and traps, that's kind of where this deck really shows what it can do. But its second effect is if this card is in your graveyard, you can send a vampire card from your hand or face it from your side of the field and special summon it. They all have that effect. You'll see. So, well, those 2 have that effect. The bigger vampires have a different effect, I think. But then we have Vampire Fraulein, which is interesting, going with the German there. This card seems really cool. It's a level 5, or sorry, level 5, 600 attack, 2000 defense. So there's that. It's got 3 effects. The first one, though, you can only use once per turn. When it declares an attack, you can special summon, or when a monster declares an attack, you can special summon this card from your hand in defense position. So, okay, it's got 2000 defense, so it can protect you. Its second effect is once per turn, once per damage calculation. When a zombie monster you control battles an opponent's monster, you can pay life points in multiples of 100, maximum of 3000. That monster you control gains attack and defense equal to the amount you paid during damage calculation. I think that effect is really cool. It'll help you get over monsters. It'll, you know, and it's during damage calculation, so that's awesome. And then its third effect here is at the end of the battle phase, in which this card destroyed a monster by battle. You can special summon as many of those destroyed monsters as possible from the graveyards to your field. That third effect is also pretty cool. And the artwork is just really cool on her and on a lot of these cards. And the spells and traps too. I love the artwork. It's all creepy and dark. The next card that we have is Vampire Grimson. 2000 level 5, 2000 attack, 1400 defense. If this monster you control would be destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect, you can pay 1000 life points for each of those monsters instead. Or no, I read that wrong. If a if a monster you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can pay 1000 for each one of those monsters instead. So he helps you protect your stuff, but again, you're paying your life points, so it could get a little risky as those decks tend to be. Its second effect here is at the end of the battle phase, in which this card destroyed an opponent's monster by battle. You can special summon as many of those as possible from the graveyards to your field. So it's the same as Fraulein. All these bigger monsters have that effect. The next one, which seems really cool, is Vampire Scarglet. Might be saying that wrong. He's a level 6 with 2200 attack and defense. He's got two effects. The first one you can only use once per turn. The second one is the same thing, where you can summon destroyed monsters to your side of the field. If this card, though, is normal summoned or special summoned, you can pay 1000 life points, target a vampire monster in your graveyard, except itself, and then special summon it. It can't attack, though. That's the only drawback. Like, that's a good effect, and then at the very end it says it cannot attack during this turn, which I get. Like, Konami didn't want to make this archetype like super broken, but I still think that would have been good. But it's still a decent effect. Then we have Vampire Red Baron. It's a level 6 with 2400 attack and 1000 defense. But once per turn, you can pay 1000 life points, target one monster your opponent controls and one other vampire monster you control. You can switch the control of those two monsters. So you can switch it with one of your weaker guys, and then attack over it, and then get it right back using their effects, their second effect here. So that's a pretty cool card. Moving on to the spell cards, though, the first one we have is Vampire Desire, which is this one right here, and then the next spell card I really like. But first of all, we have Vampire Desire. It's a normal spell card. You can activate one of these effects. You can target a face-up monster you control. Send a vampire monster with a different level than that monster from your deck to the graveyard. And if you do, that target's level becomes the same as the sent monster's level until the end of the turn. And then its second effect is you can target a vampire monster in your graveyard, send one monster you control to the graveyard, and then special summon that target. Because these vampires that we talked about, they're all level 6, and there was no like special summoning way that they had. This spell card will help. Otherwise you got a tribute and all that, so that spell card will help you lower their level, and then you could probably just normal summon it or whatever. So I do like that spell card quite a bit. That could definitely come in handy. Moving on, though, to the next spell card. It's a continuous spell card. It's called Vampire Territory. It looks like it should be, and it sounds like it should be like their field spell, but it is continuous. This one's pretty cool, I think. Once per turn, you can pay 500 life points. For the rest of this turn during the main phase, you can normal summon one vampire monster in addition to your other normal summon or set. So I think that's pretty good. Just helps you, get your monsters out. And then its second effect, though, is really good. If a vampire monster you control inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you gain that much life points. So that is huge, especially because a lot of these cards you are paying life points to get their effects off or to do whatever. So having this continuous spell card, especially, at the beginning when the set comes out, you'll have 3. If you want to run multiples, you'll gain quite a bit of life just to help you with that and get their effects. Then for the trap cards, we have Vampire Awake. It's a normal trap card. You can special summon a vampire monster from your deck but destroy it during the end phase. So again, it helps you get out those bigger level 6s when you need it. And then it is destroyed, which is unfortunate, but there's a bunch of ways you could bring it back. And then we have Vampire Domination. It's a counter trap, and its effect is if you control a vampire monster, when a monster effect or a spell or trap card effect is activated, or when a spell or trap is activated, sorry, you can negate that activation, and if you do, destroy it. Then if that destroyed a card, or if that destroyed card was a monster, you gain that much life points equal to its attack. Like, holy crap, the spells and traps for this vampire archetype is, they are insane. The monsters are cool, their effects are okay, some are better than others, but this deck really benefits from its spells and traps, which and again, the artwork on especially the spells and traps looks really cool. But yeah, I am definitely interested in seeing this in action once these cards come out, and especially once we get them in the TCG. I would love to build a deck. It doesn't look like it's going to be, super, like I said, OP or anything like that. Looks like Konami did make these cards without that intent. Some of their effects could have been a notch better or so, but still very excited to see how this does. If anything, it'll be like a fun, maybe more of a casual deck. Maybe something like Six Samurais. They got a bunch of new support, but they're not winning every tournament or anything. They're just fun and affordable too for budget players. So I'm hoping that's kind of how this set is. And they do have some Vampire Exceeds coming out. One for sure, which is on the cover of this pack. If you've seen it, I've made some videos about it already. But yeah, like I said, I think it's a cool concept. The artwork's awesome. It's always cool to get new cards and all of that. So let me know in the comments what you think of this set, and if you plan on picking up any vampires or any of the other cards that are in here. I'd love to hear your comments and thoughts about these and the set as a whole. So anyways, guys, smash that like button and sub for more Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, and other trading card game news and openings. And again, thanks for watching this video, and I'll speak with you next time. Peace out and have a good one.